Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. In today's tutorial, I will show you how to contribute to open source projects. I will show you like a step by step, even if you never contributed to an open source project or worked in a team before, I will show you everything from zero to hero. So first of all, we need to know why contributing to open source projects, why you would need to go out there and look for open source projects and make you yourself contributing to it, waste energy, etc. Um, for example, I think all of you here, the reason for learning programming because you want to work in a job in a company, startup, whatever company you are working for, they're all requiring you to gain, to have like a collaborative skills, to work in a team. How to gain that as a self-taught software developer or even in a university, you're studying a degree, university don't teach you how to work in a team like in a professional manner. So to do that, you need to contribute to open source projects, and yeah, the open source projects are like professional experience because you will gain a lot of experience contributing to open source projects. So let's go to GitHub. For me, I will contribute to this project. This is like a private project that I will contribute to. It's a for real client, of course. Uh, that's why if you go to the URL, you're not gonna find it because it's a real project and in a private repository. Anyway, whenever you want to contribute to open source projects, some projects you found comfortable with, you need to check the commits. First of all, you need to check the commits. You should see when was the last commit. For instance, in this project, the last commit was 5 days ago, which means that the project is still going, like it's still live. You don't want to contribute to an old project that already died or people already forgot about or already finished. So after you make sure that the project is still going, people still making comments, you do have to go ahead and check. You need to check, first of all, there in some open source projects you can find a contribute guide, which is with the files. Otherwise, in all projects you will find README. So go ahead, read the README file, so you can have a clear idea of how the project functions. See also the languages uh, that you are familiar with. So you find you're JavaScript developer, you find projects with JavaScript. Afterwards, you go to the issues, you find the issue that is suitable for you, that you can do, that is easy, and you see yourself as able to do. I will go with this one because it's simple. It says change all of the href to React route. This is simple. First of all, when you go to an issue, you see it's assigned to no one, and you read it, you try to understand it. Uh, okay, I just made this issue like in to demonstrate in this video. um, yeah, you afterwards you make a comment to make sure that the owner of this repository knows that you're gonna take this issue. Nobody's gonna take it except you. So you make yourself, hey, I want to take this issue. You can assign yourself if that's okay with the owner, or they can assign you when they see your comments. So you can make any comment just to let them know after you understand the issue and what you need to do. You just for example, let's say I will do this task. Can you leave it to me? Okay, right now I made myself clear that, hey, I want to do this task. This task is for me. I see myself as a suitable. So when I understand the task, I understand the issue, I would clone the project. But first of all, you need to fork it. Forking means that you make a copy of this repository to your profile in GitHub, to your repository. So, and you need to clone it from there. But for me, I will just go ahead and clone it here. I will click on the URL. I will head to my desktop and yeah, I will allow. I would go to git clone. I pass the URL. I'll wait for it. I'm using npm. So if you use another like package manager, you can like use it. But for me, I will head to the directory and go and install all of the dependencies with npm. So I will write npm install and an abbreviation npm I. And what npm I will do is we will go to a package.json. In package.json, it will look for the dependencies and which will install them all. All of the dependencies that are used in this project will be installed for you. So it goes like, for example, take exos and make npi I exos. This is like happening under the hood. Take React Redux and write it. So yeah, you just write npm I and it's an abbreviation of writing all of the dependencies like manually. It's much better, much less time consuming. I'm working with. If I have any question, I can just make another comment, like I can, if something is not clear, I can just go ahead and comment. I can see that it's like a general one, so which means all pages. Like, I think whenever you see a shref, a shref link, you should change it to use navigator. So this is, I think, what is it. And you cannot look for thousands and thousands of files. As you can see, the project is big, so you can go again and just make a comment and say, please can you direct me to all of the pages that have href link. For me, I know, because this is like the project I'm working on and this is a demonstration, so I know that in here in the register I need, there is an href link, and the route is register 1. I need to change it using React Router navigation, so it can be a single page application. And yeah, that's simple. I'm just gonna make warp it in a div, have an on-click event. So whenever we click on this, I'm gonna run the function of navigator. It's gonna redirect me to the route that it contains the register 1. I already have like navigator imported, and in the route I have a route that looks like this. So I'll go and yeah, this is the route register, so it already exists. I will not have any issue. So there are many different routes in every project, and they're different based on the project. And most of the big projects, you will find a dedicated file that handles the routing, but in small projects you would find them. Uh, Most people do them in app.js. It's like a simple route, but in big projects you'll find them like I showed you. As I said, I already have like use navigate imported, and I already have a variable called navigate assigned the function of use navigate. So yeah, this is functional. I think I finished the task. So after we finish, what we do is we should create this first, even before we started. We check the branch. We create a new branch because you don't want to push your changes to directly to the main branch, because that's not good. That's not the good practice, and there are many people who are also making changes. So you should create a dedicated branch and make a pull request, so the owner of the repository gonna accept your pull request if there is no conflict, obviously. And if this is overwhelming, I'm gonna explain everything in detail in theory after we finish the practice. So I will write the command git checkout b, which means branch. So this will create a hand navigation branch and we'll switch to it. It's like an abbreviation. Okay, right now we are in this current branch. So we will add the changes. We would check again the branch and we will add the changes. We'll use git add files that changed, and we git commit. And in git commit, we need to like write a clean and understandable comment, so the owner of the repository or any other maintainer just sees the commit, understand what it does, what did you do exactly. So in me, I just gonna go in login file. I'll specify what I did. I changed the href to a React navigation to make it a single page application, SPA. Now we finished. Afterwards, we do make a push. We need to push the changes. So when we push the changes, we actually create also the new branch. So our changes right now, it's pushed to GitHub with the new branch. So we need to push them, and we write the command as follows: git push set upstream origin handle navigation. So this is gonna push all of your branch, and you haven't made a pull request yet. So we would go to the repository, we refresh, and we will see that I have pushed a new branch, and I can make a pull request. So here we just click on compare and pull request. Make a clear description of what we changed. You can add like files, like you can add, for example, a screenshot, a video explaining what you did, because it's gonna sometimes be overwhelming for the maintainer to just read every code. So if you made just a video, explained what you did in details, if your task was like big, consumed much time, that's gonna be a good thing. That depends also on the what the owner of the repository wants and explained in the README or the collaboration file. So here we go. We created our pull request, and we would see here if there's any conflict. But we don't have a conflict. This branch has no conflict with the base branch, so our handle navigation doesn't have any conflict with the current branch, which is main. Conflict means that they are something that's unequal. For example, in main there was like for example, a routing file, and you deleted that routing file and made another completely different routing file with JSX extension that stands for TypeScript. And that's gonna make a conflict because you removed something completely, or you made something missing. And yeah, that's all for making changes, for contributing to open source projects. It's simple, easy, it's not complicated. So you just need to go out there, find a project you're comfortable with, check the commits, it's still up and working, read the README file, also read the other issues, the closed issues, because it's gonna give you a clear idea. You'd see, and you go ahead, you find an easy issue for you, you clone the project, you fork it, you clone it, you work on it, you make a pull request, and that's basically all you need to do. And we will go right now to explain the theoretical part in how to handle pull requests and how Git works. So, for example, this is my computer. On the left and on the right, there is the GitHub. So imagine we have a branch that have like index and style. And in what I want is I wanna clone this repo, and when we make a git clone, what the command what will do is it will take this file that have the folder, the repository. It is just a folder, and it has index.html and style.css. It's gonna make a copy, and when it makes this copy, it's gonna take it to our local machine. So like we created a copy in our local machine of the original repository. That's simply what git clone does. That's it. For instance, let's imagine you wanna do animation using JavaScript. So you add this file, and everything's working. You made sure you created a new branch, for instance, maybe animation, and you will push with your branch. What this does is it takes your code, a copy of your code, and it sends it, the copy of the branch, and it sends it to the remote repository, and it gives it the name of the branch. The name of the branch is animation.js or animated. You can name it anything, but just remember the name should be meaningful, and when somebody sees it, would know what the branch does, how it works. Here, when the owner comes, would see your branch. Let's say you just made a pull request. It's gonna compare the code in main and animation. It's gonna see index.html doesn't change, so it's not gonna change anything. The style doesn't change, not any single file changes, but it's gonna notice that there's a new file got added in the animation. So what it does, it's gonna take that file and add it also to the main branch. For instance, if you added some CSS style, like you added one line, what's gonna do is gonna take that one line and add it to the already existing style.css. It's not gonna just copy everything, but it's only gonna copy the changes. And if there are some changes that are incompatible, like there are different changes, once in index is you changed it, like it was already exist, but you completely changed it, you modify it, that's when you have a conflict. But otherwise, you don't have any conflict for now because we just added a file and we didn't modify anything that's too complicated. And let's say you have another who contributes also, and he made another file, and this file is called a dashboard. He's he's successfully made a pull request, so we will add a dashboard.html to our repository, and here you go. And why you need to do a pull request? You need to do a pull request like every time because their files gonna be added, their code will be changed every time. So remember, pull request is crucial when you work on open source projects. A pull request is just gonna when you do git pull in your project, it's gonna go to the remote repository, see what the new things, and it's gonna take it and give it to your project locally. So your project locally gonna be updated and goes the same way as the remote repository. And that's simply what git pull does. I think that's coverage all of the necessary commands in git, what they are doing, git pull, git commit, and everything. It's simple. You just go out there, you contribute to an open source project, you look for a folder for a file that is called collaboration or some name close to it. That depends on the owner of repository. You read it, otherwise you just read the readme file because it will make you understand the project. And don't forget to choose a project that you can contribute to. You're a JavaScript developer, go to JavaScript projects. See the comments, the commits, they should be up to date. It's not gonna be 2 years ago. You don't want to contribute to a project like that. You go find an issue. You can filter issues, and yeah, that's it. I hope that I explained everything well enough for you. If there's anything that you cannot understand, you can just leave a message. You can contact me on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to help you and offer you anything I can. So I will leave you for now. See you on another video.